In this video, we're going to take a look at what is in this box. And no, it is not ammunition. This is the Minuteman rocket stove. And we're going to cook us some hamburgers with this thing. Coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. And as I make this video, it is July the 3rd, 2020, one day before our National Independence Day holiday. And I think it's fitting that we take a look at something called the Minuteman rocket stove in celebration of July the 4th. And I think it's also fitting this is 100% made in the USA. So it's a really cool little self-contained rocket stove. I've got some really good hamburgers made up here to cook on this thing in just a minute. Before we get started with the rocket stove, though, I also think it is fitting that we take a look at another Made in the USA promo from the folks at Sportsman's Guide. And through July the 7th this year, they're going to be featuring a whole lot of Made in the USA products over at Sportsman's Guide. So if you want to check out some really cool Made in the USA gear and maybe get yourself some, I encourage you to head on over to sportsmansguide.com. Okay, so let's take a look at this stove now. So first of all, as you can see, it is in a standard 50 caliber round ammo can. And let's open this thing up and kind of give you a little look inside if I can. If you can see that. So you see it's got a flue pipe here, a little damper door here, and a kind of a fire grate or a grill for putting your pan on stuff here. And that's functions also as part of the chimney. So the fire chimney is welded of 1/8 inch steel, and then all around the perimeter inside there is ceramic insulation. So that does two things. It allows this thing to get up to like 1200 degrees cooking temperature. It also helps keep the let the box itself be not crazy hot, so it won't. You can put this on a wooden picnic table and it won't catch it on fire. What's cool about it is when you finish cooking, actually just let it cool off for about 20 minutes, 10 or 15, 20 minutes. Just put it back together, back it up in here, and you can seal it right up. You don't have a lot of soot and everything out exposed to get on your stuff. You can stick this in your trunk of your car or whatever. So that's pretty cool too. Weighs about 14 pounds, comes with a 3-year warranty, and typically ships within about 48 hours, which is also pretty cool. So without a lot of rambling, let's just go ahead and set this thing up and show you how it works. So basically the concept of a rocket stove is that you got a chimney here. When you put this on, it'll be even higher. As that heats up, it starts to draft just like a chimney in a house. So that's what causes the smoke to go out of a chimney in your house and not in the room, is the heat of the flue. As the flue gets hot, it actually causes the heat to rise and pulls the fresh air through with it. Well, this does the same thing. You put your fuel in here and then down here. Once it starts heating, it creates a draft and it pulls the air through the bottom back up through the chimney, and it helps create a very efficient burn, gives you a lot more heat, and it minimizes the smoke. And you can use fuel tablets with this thing or pellets, but I've just got I got some sticks. So we're gonna try to use sticks. So I'm not gonna ramble a lot because I'm really hungry. So what I thought we'd do is I'm just gonna kind of readjust the camera where you can see what I'm doing. We'll get this thing started, get some fire going in it. I'll go grab the hamburgers in a big old cast iron frying pan, and we'll see if we can cook us up some supper. Okay, so here's the rocket stove. As you can see, can you see my finger down there? Again, the whole concept is that the heat, as this heats up, it's going to suck air down through here and it's going to come in here. And this actually just gives you a little damper. You can put that down if you want to kind of control the flow. But so we probably won't even need that. And then again, nice. Once you get the fire going, you can put this on and you're going to increase your drafts. So, way to get this thing started though is going to be, like any fire, you're going to start with small stuff and work your way to bigger stuff. So we're going to start with a bunch of these little sticks like this. And don't cram too many in there, because if you cram in too much, there won't be room for airflow. So just kind of got a bunch of little sticks like this, and we're just going to kind of let them kind of fall in there nice and naturally. Not going to try to cram a wad of them in there at one time. So we want to get enough so that there will be enough mass to really generate some heat, so we can get some bigger stuff going. So I'm going to call that probably pretty good there. And I've got some more stuff ready. Now, they also offer on their website something really cool, this Maya Sticks fat wood. And this is Central American fat wood with 80% resin content. So, I mean, it'd be almost a sin to not use this wood. Man, would you just look at that? Matter of fact, let me just move this stove out of the way for a minute. and take the old, I guess we just use what we got. Right now I've got the Emerson CQC7, so we just carve us off some feathers with this thing. We're gonna put those in there to kind of help the fire get going. Man, this is some, let me see. Oh, can you smell that? Just smell it. Oh man, that smells so good. So since we're gonna be using a pan and not cooking directly over the fire, I'm not as concerned about using pine or anything like that. Normally I wouldn't cook over pine. I'd wait till the fat wood was gone before I cooked, but man, that's really great. So there's that. Now, I also want to try to do is go ahead and let me just see if I can make myself a little fat wood torch kind of. And this is not really part of the actual stove review, but you know, why not, right? Why not just go ahead and show you? So this is kind of a little trick I like to do sometimes, because this will burn. It kind of gives me almost like a match, a long match that's going to burn, and it's going to continue to burn. So if you just carve a few feathers on it like that, little curls, it can be really easy to light. Oh, I almost broke it off. So there's that. Now, okay, so I'm going to put the stove back up here and move this out of the way for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and slide this lid off to kind of get it out of the way. Don't need it right now. Move this out of the way so we can put the stove kind of in the middle where you can see. And because I want you to see what's going on. I have not used this thing. It's obviously brand new, so we want to kind of see how doofus proof it is, and I like to do that sometimes. So no secret practices here. No, I haven't learned any special tricks. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this fat wood down inside there like that, just kind of help accelerate things. And then we'll let's just see what happens. Well, while we're at it, they also have a couple of really cool ferro rods for sale. Also, they have a large and a small, and this is, I think this is a large with hardwood handles, and they have really nice strikers with them. Instead of just a piece of a hacksaw blade, they have this little timberline striker. Once you scrape the paint off, it should strike pretty good. There we go. So a nice little cover on them. There we go. Now we just stick you under there like that, and you should burn. This thing should burn really well. Now I'm thinking that's going to burn like nobody's business. Just once you get that going, start putting some more little sticks in. Just kind of keep feeding it. A little bit more from the top, and then what you can do, once those kind of get going, you get a little heat going there. Then with the small stuff, then you can start feeding in stuff about the size of a pencil from this way, and just kind of feeding it in like that. You don't want to get too much in there. You want to make sure you got plenty of airflow. But again, the goal is you got to get this chimney heated up, and it's got insulation around it, so once it gets hot, it's going to want to stay hot. And then you start pushing some longer ones in there, and you can actually use the longer ones to kind of push, you know, continue to push your fuel in and feed it in. And we just keep doing that. And as you can see, it's starting to draft already. That thing is already heating up, so it's already starting to draft. And as it gets more draft, it'll kind of quit smoking as much. But just look at the way the flame's shooting up there like that. That means it's drafting pretty well. So I'm going to move this thing over to the center now, and we're going to go ahead and let this wood burn down just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the chimney and the grate on it, so it'll have the opportunity to really start drafting. Look at that, man! It really starts drafting a lot. So it's going to get some more fuel in there, and you can see the rocket effect going on this thing. It is going up. So you can also just drop it in the top. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Although I've got a piece of stick sticking out over here that's messing up my rocket. So let me see if I can move that without burning my hands. I picked up a cast iron pan that I was trying to re-season earlier, and by golly, I burnt the crap out of my hand earlier. So I got some of this. Let's stick a piece of that cedar down in there too. Why not? Got some longer pieces, we can stick them in there and they'll burn. That's fine. On the top, it won't hurt anything. Once you put your pan on there, of course, you're not going to be able to do that. So the goal is to make sure you get everything heated up really well, and then you start putting some of this longer sticks, you know, fatter sticks in there like that. So once the larger size wood kind of gets going, then it'll continue to burn. And I'm gonna put one more piece of fat wood in there just because, why not? So let me go get my hamburgers and see what we can do with these things, because it looks like it feels pretty hot. It ought to be able to cook now. So one thing I like about the stove, it is very solid. because it weighs 14 pounds or so. Well, minus whatever the lid weighs, it's really solid. I've got I think this is a 12-inch cast iron frying pan I'm going to use, and the burner is tuned to work perfectly. It's supposed, with the help with the draft and the heat. So this has been, I partially reseasoned this, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to use it to cook with anyway because I want some hamburgers. So I'm just gonna keep feeding a little wood through here, just kind of pushing those into the coals. Keep feeding some longer sticks, and if they lean out here, it's okay. Keep that going. I want to let this thing get getting hot before I start cooking with it. Shouldn't take long. It's got a lot of heat coming out of there. As long as I can look and see flames under there, and I can, that tells me that I'm doing a good job feeding the fire. So that's what we're trying to do. And the pan feels like it's getting pretty hot. Let's just start cooking. Okay, so first of all, let me just show you a little trick I learned from a friend of ours. I made little hamburger style donuts, and what that does, she told me this, and I had to check it out. It keeps them from getting all shriveled up, and it really does work. So first we're just gonna put a big old clunk of butter on the pan because we got to have something to fry it in, right? Oh yeah, it's looking pretty good there. Oh yeah. So let's get that butter good and melted on there. It's not super hot yet, then. Starting to though. It's starting to get there. Now, let's see. Let's just put these bad boys on there. There's one. Kind of, like I said, the pan is only partially reseasoned, so I want to make sure they don't stick if I'm putting a lot of butter in there. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the only reason I'm putting all that butter in there. That's all. That's the only reason. Sure. And you can see, by the way, that even though the flame is kind of outside, it's drawing it. It draws it in. And if you ever see, like right now, it looks like the flames might be down. Just give a little blow like you would a regular fire, and then you start right back up. You can see the burgers are cooking. Man, they're sizzling. Reminds me of a John Prine song about Lake Marie. Again, what you don't want to do is you don't want to block your draft. As long as you're not blocking the draft, you're okay. So, and just like any other fire, you got to kind of tend it. So you got to make sure that you're keeping it fed, and everything's good. Oh yeah, butter is your friend, and this thing is working. You notice how they're not shriveling up here? Let's see if these suckers are done. I think they are. Oh yeah, and see, it's sturdy enough. I don't have to hold on to the frying pan even to turn these things over or whatever. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of butter in there. So that's some good stuff right there. So let's put a little cheese on there, and then we'll call these done. I like me some Colby Jack. So at this point in time, I'm probably not going to put any more wood on the fire. I'm just going to let what's there burn itself out. Oh man, oh man. Is that going to be good, or is that going to be good? Now for the secret sauce. Well, sort of toasted. Grilled bread, I guess we could call that. Okay. Oily bread, how about that? Butter bread, okay. Now, let's find my makeshift pot holder and move the frying pan off so it can start cooling down. And we'll just set it right back here. Let this cool off, and I'll fix up a hamburger. Okay, well, I got me a nice slice of Vidalia onion on there. Let's see how she turned out. By the way, Ruffles have flavor because Ruffles have ridges. Chuck Norris can eat just one Lay's potato chip. This is Dave's Killer Bread food. I really like the stuff. Anyway, let's see. Taste test. That's good. It's real good. I know it's not a burger video, but if you haven't had the special Brian burgers, you haven't had a burger. Anyway, We'll let this thing cool off a little bit. We'll pick it up and see if it burnt the stump underneath it, and we'll wrap this up. In the meanwhile, while it is cooling off, I'm gonna finish eating this burger. So we still got some coals in there, so I'm gonna cheat this a little bit because it's getting dark. I want to finish the video, so I'm just gonna pull that off, and then I'm gonna take my. It's pretty hot. The handle is pretty hot, but not too hot. I'm gonna take my makeshift pot holder, and we're just gonna dump this thing out on the ground like so. You didn't see that, but I dumped it out on the ground. And you'll notice that the stump is completely unharmed, completely cool. And so then what you can do, once this continues to cool off, this will go back in there. Actually, I can drop it in there now, I guess. It's already cool. I just won't put the lid on it. Probably don't want to put the lid on. You want to let this thing continue to cool off, but you can go ahead and put everything back in. The lid will just go back on. And what you'll have is, I'll wipe that lid off where I dumped it on the ground. You wouldn't have that problem if you were patient. And put the lid back on. And you are ready to go, which I think is stinking cool. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So as you saw, this thing absolutely works like it is supposed to. It drafts fine, it cooks fine. The smoke was pretty minimal once the fire got going, which is pretty normal. And what I like about it is it gives you the opportunity to have a self-contained fire. If you can't have open fires in a lot of places, this might be okay there. But you could use this tailgating with just a handful of wood that you pick up in your yard. If you got a yard like me, you can use wood pellets with it. You take it camping, sit it on a picnic table. You're not going to hurt the picnic table. It's just to keep it in your car for emergencies. If you need a stove that's going to be good and solid, that you can put cast iron cookware or whatever on. This could be part of your emergency kit. It's just a really well-made, well-designed, well thought out stove, and I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, the price on the stove is $199.95. Again, made in the USA. Very well done. For the viewers of this channel, if you use the coupon code SOP, not only will you get the stove, but you'll get a free bag of these Maya sticks. I mean, that's a big pound of 80% resin fat wood, man, oh man. And one of the small ferro rods, which is also really cool, and free shipping to the US. So again, that is at the MinutemanStove.com, and use the coupon code SOP. So anyway, thanks again to the folks at Minuteman Rocket Stoves for sending me this so I could show it to you and cook up some really tasty brine burgers. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, sometimes random videos throughout the week. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single one, I invite you to go to survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe and get connected with my weekly email newsletter. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident. So be prepared. And happy birthday, America.